maraming salamat po, Mayor Gia Gomez. I call her Ging. Nakakatuwa na, matagal ko ng kaibigan si Mayor Gia, si Ging. Ngayon naman ang barkada ko si JV. O JV, wag mong itatanggi na magkabarkada tayo dahil tayo ang mga seatmates, hindi ba? Bago dumating si Senator JV sa Senado, ang barkada ko at mga kasamahan ko sa Senado since 1998 and I've been there for 20 years. Ayan, I'm revealing something. Nasa Senado po ako ng 20 taon, pero hindi ko ay kaedad yung mga seniors doon, ha? Si Senate President Tito Soto, ang matagal ko ng kaibigan. Naging minority leader yan, naging majority leader ko, gaya ng sinabi ni Mayor Gia. Ngayon, Senate President siya, and we belong to the same party, at kami ang tinatawag nila JV, yung mga mas bata, mas bagong senador, na macho block. Ang macho block, si Senate President Vicente Soto, si Senator Greg Honasan, na senior senator, at si Senator Panfilo Lacson, si Ping, na senior senator. Ang pang-apat sa macho block, ang inyong lingkod. Macho ba? O tita? Pero nung dumating yung mga bagets na senador, yung mga bagong matatalinong maliliksi, hindi ko sinasabing hindi maliksi at hindi matatalino yung macho block, magagaling din. Pero may mga bata rin dumating. Meron silang grupo, yan sila JV, at hindi ko na babanggitin lahat, ay may iingay, makakwento pag sa lounge, at masisipag, at makukulit, ayan. Eh, magkakatabi kami nila, Senator Binay. Inampun nila ako sa Seatmates Plus. Ayan, di ba, JV? So, kabarkad, they just love to joke around me kasi cowboy ako eh. So, nasa dalawang grupo ko, sa Macho Block at saka sa Seatmates Plus. Tanong niyo ko kung saan ako mas masaya. Doon sa mga seniors o sa mga bagets? No, but really, no, age is a state of mind. Ako pinagpapasalamat nung in-approach ako ni JV at sabi niya, if I can be guest of honor today, I was supposed to be out of town today. And he said, pero request ka ni Mommy, sabi niya, ni Mayor Gia. And I said, of course, I'll make sure na darating ako today. And so, Mayor Gia Gomez, thank you very much for your kind invitation. Masaya po akong makabalik dito para makita ang ating halos 20 taon na mga punong tinanim po ninyo na libo-libo. At kung gusto po niyong karagdagan, with Vice Mayor Janela, ay maaari po tayong mag-request pa sa Bureau of Plant Industry ng Department of Agriculture or sa DENR, NCR para po maging forest park palalo ito. Because we all know that the reason why the National Historical Commission is here because this is a heritage site. At the same time, it's a beautiful garden. And I think lahat ng syudad, lahat ng mga plaza sa Metro Manila ay dapat magkaroon ng open spaces na ganito. Kaya Vice Mayor Gia, salamat po sa inyong pag-imbita. Mayor Gia, Vice Mayor Janela, bumabati rin po kay Monsignor Nestor Serbo, kay Eastern Police District Director, Police Superintendent Reynaldo Biay, sa ating mga konsehal, ang mga sangguniang panlunsod, lahat po ng representante ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno, at ang ating representante mula sa National Historical Commission, nabanggit ni Mayor Gia tungkol sa kanya mga dolls na mula pa sa aking unang termino, ang aking regalo sa mga ambassador at hanggang Pasko, yun po yung Luntian Pilipinas doll na napakaganda, gawa ng kanyang women's movement, yung Balikatan. At natanong ko nga po kung ito pa'y aktibo. At sabi niya hanggang ngayon aktibo. Nagkaroon lang nga, pasensya na po, nagsasalita ako ng konti while you were talking because tinanong ko po kung ilan ethno-linguistic groups. 175, not 80? According to the NHCP, kiniquiz ko siya, baka ninervyos ang katabi ko eh. I asked ilan ba ang ethno-linguistic groups in the country? I thought it was just 80. But he said it's 175, so fine, I'll take your word for it. So kung ilan man yung ethno-linguistic groups, magpapagawa ako. But may bayad to, hindi to libre. I want to do Lauren dolls, not just because of me, it's not ego or what, but wearing the indigenous costume of each and every IP group. It could be Lauren in a Tiboli costume, it could be Lauren in an Ifugao costume, it could be wearing the piña of Lumban, Laguna, or it could be wearing the indigenous abel of the Ilocanos. So magpapagawa po ako kung ilan man yung indigenous groups 175, mali ka yata, NHCP. Tingnan natin, sige, kung tama yung research mo. But I think it will be a good project of the Balikatan movement. Itanong mo ulit, research mo. Walang trabaho ngayon, walang research mo. Baka mali kayo, ha? Sige. Ni-nervous tuloy sila. Joke lang, ganyan lang ako. So, anyway, so, thank you very much for your kind introduction. Ako po, I have a 12-page speech sa malalim na Pilipino. Gusto nyong basahin ko ito? Gusto nyong magkwento ako? Kwento. Okay. Yes. Now, I'd like to speak from the heart. And ang ating tema ngayon ay kalayaan, pagbabagong ipinaglaban alay sa masaganang kinabukasan. Malalalim na Tagalog na Pilipino, ano bang ibig sabihin po nito? Actually, ang ating kalayaan, ang ating tinatamasa, mahalaga yan. Ang ating independence mula sa colonial powers, ang ating kalayaan. Tinanong ko sa aking close-in staff na millennial, ano ba sa inyo ang kalayaan? Sabi niya, kalayaan from colonial powers. Fine. Sometimes we take it for granted. But is that all what freedom means? Is that all what independence means? Sa akin po, meron pang kasing halaga at kasing lalim na ibig sabihin ng kalayaan. Kalayaan natin na dapat natin gawin objektibo, hangarin, at itrabaho sa pang-araw-araw. Lahat tayong lingkod bayan, sa nasyonal, gaya ni Senator JV, at sa lokal, gaya ni Janela at ni Mayor Ging, ay dapat magtulungan kasama ng lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno, ng pamahalaan, pati na rin ang pribadong sektor, para matamasa, ma-enjoy ng bawat Pilipino ang ating kalayaan. Aanhin natin ang kalayaan kung wala tayong kalayaan mula sa kahirapan. Importanteng maiangat natin ang antas ng kabuhayan ng halos kalahati ng ating 100 milyong populasyon mula sa poverty. Poverty alleviation, the creation of more jobs, the creation of more livelihood, economic opportunities for our people. Yan po ang kaakibat ng ating tinatamasang kalayaan. Mahalaga ang kalayaan, ngunit ang kalayaan mula sa kahirapan ay isang hamon na ating hinaharap araw-araw. Kaya po, meron akong ginawang 2 batas na patuloy po natin sinusuportahan at pinupondohan bilang chairman ng Committee on Finance. Ito po yung ginawa ko sa aking unang termino, yung micro and small and medium enterprises. Ang pagbibigay po ng insentibo at suporta sa mga maliliit na negosyo, gaya nung sa Balikatan, gaya ng mga karinderya, gaya po ng mga micro and small enterprises, some of them part of the underground economy, but those that really provide robust economic livelihood in the grassroots. This is 99% of our economy, the MSME. Hindi po maraming nakakaalam na meron tayong batas na ganito, na meron po tayong Department of Trade na siyang nagbibigay ng suporta sa SSF. Alam po ni Senator JV to, yung Shared Services Facilities. Kasi minsan tayo sa gobyerno pinapahirapan ng mga pangalan. Ano po itong SSF? Ito po ang programa ng Department of Trade na pinondohan ko ngayong taong ito ng 1 billion piso para po sa mga micro and small and medium enterprises para magkaroon sila ng gamit, ng equipment, ng technical assistance para magawa ang kanilang maliliit na negosyo. I'm a great believer in providing support to our MSMEs. Only then will we be able to reach out to the grassroots, both in the urban and the rural areas. Pag natulungan natin at nabigyan po ng suporta ang ating mga micro enterprises and small enterprises, ay hindi na kailangan manglimos ng mga tao. Hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng mga petty crimes. There would be no reason for people to beg in the streets because they would have livelihood. Kaya mahalaga po, sana ma-identify natin lahat ng MSME sa syudad ng San Juan at sa iba't ibang lugar at mabigyan ng tulong sa pamamagitan ng Department of Trade sa kanilang Shared services facilities. Ask your DTI rep, ask the NCR DTI how the micro-enterprises of San Juan can actually access this. Maliban po dyan, napakaraming programa ng ating gobyerno na tumutulong sa micro-enterprises. Nandyan ang Dole Kabuhayan. Hindi marami nakakaalam na maliban sa Dole Tupad na siyang binibigay po para sa cash for work, na meron pala akong allocation para sa City of San Juan na 2 million pesos na pinaprocess na, ay meron din po yung Dole Pangkabuhayan. Similar to the DTI SSF na mag-a-apply lang po sa micro-enterprise para magkaroon ng pondo para sa maliit na sisimulan na kabuhayan. For example, sa Barangay Nyogan sa Tagaytay, yung mga gawa-gawa po ng bonsai, nabigyan po ang bawat tao, bawat grupo yata na pamilya, ng 20,000 na parang capital assistance sa pagsimula. I know it may be small, pero sa mga nagsisimula o kailangan ng augmentation ng kanilang micro enterprise, bakit naman hindi? Ang DOST, alam ko ay meron din Step Up program. Napakaraming programa ng iba't ibang departamento ng pamahalaan. Pero wari ko'y hindi alam ng taong bayan. Kaya pag budget hearing, alam ni Senator JV, sinasabi ko yon. Ano pa tayo? Una, iba-ibang pangalan, pinapahirapan, highfalutin ang mga pangalan. Let's simplify. Pangalawa, kulang sa impormasyon. Alam ba ng mga taga Metro Manila yan? Metro Manila pa lang yan. Alam ba na taga probinsya yan na merong ganyan? Pangatlo, alam ba nilang may pondong linalagay tayo? Pang-apat, maski alam lahat yan, pinapahirapan natin i-access yung pondo eh. Ang dami-daming requirements, ang bagal-bagal. Buwanan, kundi taon. Sa pamasahin na lang tao papunta sa City Hall o sa ahensya ng gobyerno, ay ubus na ang panahon at ang pera. So the challenge for us in the national and in the local government is to simplify processes even if we have to abide by COA rules and regulations. So yan po yung balancing act. Which brings me to my point of poverty alleviation. Maitataas lang natin ang antas ng kabuhayan ng taong bayan kung bibigyan natin pansin ang maliliit na negosyo. Mabibigyan natin ng puhunan, mabibigyan natin ng tulong pangkapital, mabibigyan natin ng pinansyal at technical na assistance at access sa merkado, at even design assistance. This is my passion since my first term for 20 years, and I hope that through my law, MSME law, and through my funding assistance through the DTI and the other agencies of government, ay patuloy na matutulungan ang taong bayan. At sana si Senator JV, ipagpatuloy niya ang pagsuporta sa aking mga legislative and funding initiatives. Isa pa pong batas, again, not many people know it. I have the Barangay Kabuhayan Law. It may not apply to the City of San Juan. Yung Barangay Kabuhayan Act ay para po sa 4th, 5th, and 6th class municipalities. Napakadami niyan. Daan-daan ang 4, 5, 6 sa buong Pilipinas. At tinatakda po ng batas na ito na magkaroon ng Barangay Kabuhayan Training Center in all the 4, 5, 6 so that they can have assistance in their micro enterprises. So that's freedom from poverty. And that can only be done, you can't wake up overnight and just say, people will no longer be poor. It's not an overnight thing, and no government has really been able to completely eliminate or lick the problem of poverty, because we have to do it from the micro and small and medium enterprise by providing people livelihood. And through the implementation of these two laws, Barangay Kabuhayan and MSME, that's the only time we can actually be able to penetrate the grassroots. Freedom from poverty by providing jobs and self-employment through micro and small and medium enterprises. Pangalawa po, kalayaan mula sa sakuna. Ondoy sa Metro Manila, Sendong sa Region 10, Pablo sa Region 11, Yolanda sa Region 8, at sa kalahati, 50 of the 80 provinces, at 20 typhoons a year. This sets us back, hindi ba ho? Alam ng LGU yan kung anong pondong linaan mo para sa healthcare, para sa eskwelahan, para sa mga guro, para sa operations ng syudad. Nabagyo, huhugot ka doon. May NDREAM Fund, nabatas ko rin. Marami kami nag-author niyan. National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council at may NDREAM Fund. Pero hindi po ito sapat. May Climate Change Act na nag-create ng Climate Change Commission bago lang na siyang dapat magturo sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno at lokal na pamahalaan paano maging resilient, paano ma-adapt ang ating buhay sa pabago-bagong klima na hindi natin kayang iwasan pero kaya po nating iakma ang ating pamumuhay sa pagbabago ng klima. 12 months in a year, 20 typhoons a year. The typhoons bring floods, the typhoons bring strong winds, tsunami, and storm surge. Maybe not in the city of San Juan, but we are always victims to floods. Hindi natin kayang baguhin, pero kaya natin i-adapt ang ating pamumuhay. How can we have freedom from this negative or adverse impact of disasters? Paano tayo magkakaroon ng kalayaan mula sa masalimuot na pag-ahon mula sa baha? Ibahin natin ang ating pamumuhay sa ating RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law, which I authored in 1998 and enacted into law in 2001. Simple lang po, paghihiwalay ng basura sa nabubulok at hindi nabubulok. To institutionalize a segregation of waste at source, recycling, and composting. I hope that the city of San Juan would take the lead in the segregation of waste and have a minimum of 3 bins. Organic waste, food waste, which you can do into fertilizers, all of the dry twigs and leaves, and all of the food waste can be ibaon po sa lupa at yan ay gagawing organic compost. Lahat naman ng bote, lata, plastic na recyclables can be sold, may income po ang mga tao. At yung non-recyclables and non-organic, yun lang po ang pupunta sa landfill. Hindi ba tayo mga Pilipino po, ang ating mentality, at lahat naman ng bansa, not in my backyard. Siyempre, ayaw natin may landfill dyan. Pero, kung limitado lang po ang pupunta sa landfill dahil ini-implement natin ang Ecological Solid Waste Management Law at halos 80% na po ang diversion. Ibig sabihin, napupunta sa organic waste, pwedeng gawin abono, napupunta sa recycling, sa MRF, pwedeng ibenta, may income ang mga tao, nare-recycle, 20% na lang ang pupunta po sa landfill. Hindi na mag-aaway ang mga syudad kung nakaninong lugar ang landfill dahil konting-konti na lang po. If all the 1,600 plus local governments, cities and municipalities would only strictly implement Republic Act 9003, which I authored 20 years ago, we would not have a problem of garbage. We would not have a problem of dirty rivers, including the San Juan River, with no offense to the city of San Juan, because these are waterways from the Pasig River and connected to the river in Bulacan, in Valenzuela, and everywhere. But if every LGU would take care of its own backyard, of its own river and waterways, bakit naman kasi sa ibang bansa, sa Europa, sa Germany, sa United Kingdom, sa France, pati na rin sa Singapore, ang pangangalaga ng ilog. Bakit tayo mga Pilipino, hindi ko linalahat, ang ilog ginagawang Poso Negro, gaya ng Ilog Pasig. Ang Manila Bay, malaking Poso Negro ng Metro Manila. Bakit? Napakalinis natin mga tao, pero tinatapon natin ang liquid, solid, sometimes human waste in our bays and rivers. Kaya tinawag ni Pangulong Duterte ang Boracay na cesspool. Do we want to be remembered as that? Do we want to be known by our children and the future generations as destroying and desecrating and keeping us dirty what is not ours, what is just lent to us by nature and by the universe and by God? Ang iniwan sa atin, kalbong kabundukan, maruwing lawa, bulok na kapaligiran. No. para sa ating sariling kalusugan, sa ating sariling kapakanan, para magkaroon ng turismo, para magkaroon ng kabuhayan. Pangalagaan natin ang ating lawa at ilog, kabundukan, kapaligiran. Sa syudad man lang o sa kabundukan, nakatira man tayo sa 4th, 5th o 6th class municipality o sa National Capital Region. And that's the only way we can have freedom from disease, freedom from ill effects of a dirty environment, and freedom from disasters. So, binanggit ko na po ang mga batas ng kalikasan, batas ng MSME law for poverty. Maybe I've not mentioned all environmental laws, although nabanggit ko po yung Ecological Solid Waste Management. We have the Clean Water Act, which should protect the rivers. We have the Clean Air Act, and JV knows whenever we have hearings of DNR, I ask them, are your air quality monitoring stations working? Sira po ngayon. Sira, di pa gawa. Bakit ganon? So I call on the DNR. I'm asking my staff, even it's holiday, call them. How many air quality monitoring stations do we have in Metro Manila? Are they all working? I ask all LGUs to demand from the DNR to tell them the air quality for that day. What is the air quality in San Juan? Is it a livable kind of air? Or if it's dirty, what do we do? Do we limit the number of cars within its jurisdiction? Or do we plant more trees so that we have buffers at may sasagip ng maruming hangin? Or do we regulate the number of vehicles passing through EDSA? That is done, right? So there are many ways. But our Department of Environment should be more active in doing that. They're trying their best. I know it's a Herculean task, mahirap po. Pero maganda po, if I may suggest, Vice Mayor Janela, you represent the millennials and the youth of our country. Mayor Ging, you have the wisdom and the experience of being an environmentalist mayor to demand from the DNR that the air quality monitoring stations within Metro Manila and within San Juan could be working, and to give you that information, and you could blast that information to all of those working in the city, because every family, every Filipino family, every human being has a right to know, has a right to free air, has a right to a clean environment, has a right to all this. At pang-apat po, ang pangangalaga ng ating mga heritage structures. May batas po ito po yung heritage law, at ako po yung nagagalak na you are host to something so important to the history and culture of our country. And our NHCP friend had just showed me the work they're doing underground where we are now. So I would also suggest perhaps, if you have not already done it, to do a database or inventory of all government structures and infrastructure and buildings within the city of San Juan and age it. Kung ilan, 50 years, 80 years, and all private homes and buildings na nananatili pa. Again, base po yan sa ating heritage law, so that you can even do a book or even put up a blog. These are the heritage structures of San Juan. Government-owned, fine. Pag government-owned, kontrolado natin, walang gagalaw, we just rehabilitate. And then, both the city can allocate part of its IRA, or national government, through the NHCP, can allocate the funds for the upkeep of all these heritage buildings, even if they're not declared heritage sites. And then the private sector can be encouraged to continue to retain or to rehabilitate or to maintain their heritage homes. Iilan lang po yan sa aking mga ehemplo ng kalayaan. Iisipin nyo, anong koneksyon ng kalayaan sa lahat ng sinasabi ni Lauren o ni Senator Legarda? Because dun lang po natin ma-enjoy or matatamasa ang pinaglaban ng ating mga ninuno at ng ating mga heroes of our history. We can only enjoy the freedom, the independence, the liberty, all of our rights if we are free from poverty, if we are free from environmental hazards and from disasters, if we know how to care for nature and culture. Kaya po, sa pagkakataong ito, ako'y nagpapasalamat sa inyong silensyo kayo po ay napaka-attentive, halatang disiplinado ang mga taga San Juan sa inyong pakikinig sa aking lecture. Pasensya na po, hindi naging speech, naging lecture. Ganyan po ako. Pati sa hearing, ganyan din ako. Pati sa mga interpellation sa Senado. Kaya mahirap po akong imbitahin na le-lecture ko because I seize the opportunity to inform everyone of the laws that we crafted. Sometimes, there is a clear disconnect between the legislature and the executive, especially the local government. Maski na 20 taon na yung mga batas na ginawa ko, maski saan ako magpunta, meron bang ganung batas? So there's a disconnect. So we always have to communicate all the laws we have done, not just in environment, but for livelihood creation. And worse, there is a disconnect among those in the executive. Aba, pinupondohan na nga, may batas na nga. Pinupondohan na nga. Hindi pa ginagastos yung pondo, hindi pa tinuturo ng executive sa LGU kung paano implement. Hindi po dapat yon. That's why people are discontented. Because we in government, national and local, should bring government closer to the people. There is discontent, there is insurgency, there is crime, there's unhappiness. Because there is a disconnect between agencies of government, between national and the local and the people. And so, dapat natin itrabaho. I'm not saying di tayo nagtatrabaho. We work very hard, JV, Janela and Mayor Ging, and all of us, the police. We work very hard. But maybe working hard is not enough. Let's look at ourselves as being in an emergency ICU situation, having a large population, being a vulnerable nation, having a wealth of resources, but having huge challenges. So seize the moment, seize the opportunity, maximize our resources, and act as if the deadline was yesterday. That's the kind of work ethic I bring into my 20 years in the Senate, and that's my message for today. Let us enjoy and cherish and relish our freedom. Along with our freedom is our responsibility to bring government closer to our people. Only then will we be able to say that we have done our work well, that we have served the people better. Magandang umaga po sa inyo at Happy Independence Day.